A sloth is one of the slowest animals on earth. And I, for years, felt slower than a sloth. And I hated feeling lazier than Sid the Sloth from Ice Age. Because he was really cute, though, but he was lazy. And Jay taught me some really cool things about laziness that I didn't know. So today, we're going to break down all the awesome things that Jay taught me about laziness so you can find out if you're slower than a freaking sloth. So Jay, what if I actually like being lazy?
You serious right now?
I mean, sometimes.
All right. Look, you can like whatever you like. I'm not here to change people. Maybe some people on the planet genuinely like not accomplishing things or moving forward or making progress and just being lazy. But if that's you and that's really what you like, why are you on this video?
Oh, damn.
Right? What were you expecting when you clicked? If you're happy with how you are,
yeah.
What do you need to go click on lazy videos for?
So maybe the person who's clicked on this that likes their laziness is like how I used to be, where even though I didn't like feeling lazy, I wanted to change and I wanted to not be lazy, but I was still lazy.
Yeah. So basically, you claim to like being lazy, but you didn't actually like being lazy.
Yeah.
So how many people out there who are claiming to like being lazy actually wish they weren't?
That's good. I don't know how many, but if I did it, then there's probably other people too.
So I'm saying you're allowed to like what you like, but how many people actually have the self-awareness and self-knowledge to know what they like? How many of us are painting a mask or a face or projecting, right? So that said, not everyone is meant to move through life at the same pace. We're all 8 billion individuals and we all have our own life path and journey and pace.
Oh yeah. So then like, if we have our own pace, how do you know what my pace is? Maybe I'm supposed to be like Sid the Sloth and like, you know?
Yeah, possibly that's your fastest pace.
Right.
Certain people with certain conditions might not be meant to blaze a massive trail of speed through life. They might be on Earth to experience a different pace. And I'm not going to call those people with those conditions lazy.
Fair play, yeah.
So I'm not going to judge, but it's really up to them to figure out what they really like. If you're going to claim to like being lazy, you need to figure out what you really like. And very few people ever really figure out what they really like.
Well, okay, so when I say I like being lazy, doesn't mean I don't like being productive. It doesn't mean I don't like crushing my schedule, my day, and my to-do list. But like on Sundays, this is our day off.
I'm curious about Sunday. Do you like productivity or do you like anti-productivity?
No, I like productivity.
Then that doesn't sound very lazy.
Yeah, but on Sunday, I like being lazy.
Great. So you just productive people take a break. What does that have to do with anything?
Well, that's why I said, what if I like to be lazy? Because on those days I do.
But no one clicks on this video. It's like, I'm only lazy once every 6 days and it's a major problem for me.
Okay. I got you.
I'm saying.
So then for those people, laziness is not being productive.
For most people, laziness is not being productive. Laziness doesn't actually exist. It's just a made-up term that people use to make fun of people who fail to accomplish their goals at a certain timeline.
Okay, fair enough.
But some people don't accomplish their goals because they have trauma trapped in their bodies. Some people don't accomplish their goals because they've been trained into negative thought patterns and they have yet to break out of them. Some people don't accomplish their goals because they have terrible mood management and they're always in a bad mood and they don't have high energy. And some people don't accomplish their goals because they have physical conditions preventing them and they refuse to address the physical conditions or ever change them. And so they stay stuck in this loop of, oh, my physical conditions are stopping me from being productive, but I'm not going to fix my physical conditions, so I'll never be productive.
I got you.
I'm saying there are reasons why people don't accomplish goals.
Okay.
But rather than look at those reasons, most people just say, oh, I'm lazy, or we call somebody else lazy, rather than get to the root of why they're not accomplishing goals at a reasonable pace for them.
That's really good. I mean, it's not good to do that. I mean, it's good. It's good what you said. It was, I didn't really understand the difference.
Well,
so
there are a lot of these on Earth. I won't get into them here, but there are a lot of excuse words we use when we don't want to get to the root of something to really express or articulate the problem. We don't want to say, I don't take care of my body because I don't take care of my mood, because I don't take care of my thoughts. We just want to say, oh, I'm just an obese person. I just have genetic issues. I just have a certain body type. I'm an endomorph or whatever. It's like these can actually be things, but most people just use them as an excuse word to avoid digging into the deeper root of why they're like they are.
Sure, I said for years, I'm just fat. Like, this is how I am. And even though I have been thin at many other times in my life.
Right. And most people have been unlazy at many times in their life.
Yeah.
When they were infants or toddlers or whatever.
Yeah. We all have those bouts of energy where we get a lot of things done and we're super productive. We clean the whole house or do lots of stuff that I can't think of more than cleaning my house.
Yeah. So are you really just lazy, or is there a deeper root behind why sometimes you feel energized and sometimes you don't? Maybe that's worth looking at. Maybe there's a better way to describe what's actually happening here than just, oh, I'm just lazy. That's my personality. Laziness isn't a personality.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And not only that, but when other people label us as this, and then we take on that as our identity of being lazy.
Yeah, whether you're self-labeling or other people are labeling you, either way, lazy is fluff. Like, it's useless. It doesn't get to the heart of anything, and it just keeps you stuck.
So then if the people who are watching and listening, if they're like, lazy isn't a thing, I'm not lazy, I just choose not to be productive.
Or I am unproductive and fail to accomplish a lot of my goals on the time that I prefer. For what reason? Like, why do I do that? Instead of labeling yourself, just ask yourself the question, why did I fail that goal by that date? Why did I delay doing that? Why did I procrastinate this thing? Why did I put that off? Why did I choose to take this bath or eat this food or go in this social gathering instead? Why? Why did I make my choices? Why am I avoiding the dreams I claim I have? Why am I slowing down my pace when I could be doing things that increase my pace? Why am I wasting more time out of my life on X, Y, and Z when I really want to have A, B, and C before I die? Why am I doing this? Because there are reasons behind all of our motivations and decisions and so on. But sometimes they take a little digging to get to the truth of why we do them. And people who don't want to do the work of digging and introspection and sitting with themselves and meditating and asking these questions, they will usually just write it off as laziness. I am lazy, so now I don't have to think about it.
Oh, that's good. I did that for a long time. Well, I'm just lazy. I don't really follow through with my plans. And people would say that to me too. Like my ex-husband, that was one of his favorite things to say is, you never finish anything you start. I'm not blaming him. I didn't finish. So, but telling myself this when I didn't want to do something or I was being lazy, instead of looking at it and saying, well, I don't know what else to do past this. So I've made a lot of art. Now,
what's the next step?
How do I sell this? How do I show this to people? Why would anyone care?
Yeah.
Like, and instead of answering those deeper questions and admitting I was afraid or I didn't know, I'm unskilled, then it was easier to just not finish.
Yeah. No one wants to admit those things about themselves.
Yeah.
And most people actively avoid finding out why they do the things they do.
Yeah.
We just do things, and rarely does anyone stop to think, why did I do that? What led to that?
Yeah.
Do I want to do that again?
Asking ourselves questions is a great way to improve our mental health. It's a great way to heal ourselves, heal our trauma, and really get to know ourselves on a deeper level. I had never asked myself anything deeper more than, what do I want for dinner? And then really until we met and you started asking me all kinds of questions. I'm asking like fluff questions like, what's your favorite color? What do you like to eat? And you're like giving me philosophical answers to these questions where most people give the answer and you're like, well, it depends on my mood. It depends on this. Like it's, and I can't ask at the time anything deeper because I didn't know how to ask those questions. And that's why someone in one of the testimonials said, well, you should write a book about how to ask better questions because they would buy it. And it's true because these kinds of questions are life-changing. So I think it's a great idea for people to ask themselves why they have this label. Why did they label themselves? Why don't they want to do the thing? Why would they rather Netflix and chill instead of doing whatever it is? So thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
You're a great question asker.
Thank you.
Questioner, Riddler. Riddle me this. So that was a great intro to talk about laziness. So then my next question is, I'm not lazy to work on our business, right? I love working on our business, but sometimes I'm just not in the mood. So is there a difference between being lazy and not in the mood?
That's a good question. And actually, you've really hit on the heart of laziness. Laziness is a mood thing. Like, first of all, laziness doesn't exist, but not accomplishing one's intended goals on one's desired timeline is a mood thing for the most part. That's what it comes down to.
My mood.
Yeah. So when someone says I'm lazy, what they're really saying is I have mood issues and I haven't addressed them.
Of one of those things you mentioned in the lab.
Could be anything.
Oh,
any mood.
okay.
I feel guilty today. I feel shameful today. I don't know.
Okay.
I feel overburdened and overwhelmed and I need time to myself today. I feel exhausted and drained. Like, it's just a mood thing. Like, I feel XYZ. So when people say I'm lazy or I feel lazy or they called me lazy or whatever, what they're really saying is there's a mood issue here that no one has bothered to address.
Okay. All right. And so I know we've talked on other episodes about our moods and why they matter.
Absolutely.
So can you explain?
Yeah. So you and I have worked side by side together for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And overall, which one of us would you say is generally more productive?
Oh, you.
Overall.
You.
Okay. But do you think I'm always in the mood to work forever?
Yes, genuinely.
No. That's an interesting belief for you to have, because that makes me sound superhuman and alien and like I don't have moods like other people. I don't have feelings like other people. Maybe I'm some kind of robot automaton who just works all the time. You're welcome to believe that about me, but are you sure you want to cling to that?
I mean, I know you're a human and I know you have feelings and I know you have all that, but it was an honest answer. And
sure, but I'm asking an honest question back.
Okay.
Do you really want to cling to that belief and see me as inhuman?
No, I know you're not inhuman.
Right.
I've thought of you like that many times in the past with your levels of productivity, but I know you're not.
Sure. I know I'm exceptionally productive, and
Yes.
this is a personal skill and talent I've worked at over the years.
Mm-hmm.
But like anyone who's skilled at something, that doesn't mean they're not human. Michael Jordan is still human. Michael Jackson is still human.
Mm-hmm.
Beyonce is still human.
Yeah.
That means they all need to get over things when they encounter obstacles. All of them have moods. All of them felt like phoning it in some days. All of them felt like not going to practice. All of them felt like not rehearsing. All of that stuff.
Right. Fair enough.
But the difference between them and regular people or people who aren't as far along the productivity journey is when they have a mood like that, they solve it instantly.
Right.
They solve it fast. They prioritize it. Like, oh, unproductive mood. This needs to change. They don't say I'm lazy or I'm lethargic or that's just how it is or I need some downtime. They say, what is up with my energy today? Why do I not feel like doing my main purpose? Why do I not feel like pursuing my passion? Something's up. Like, I got to fix this.
Mm-hmm.
I have people counting on me. I got stuff to do. I got stuff I want to take care of. I have dreams. I have hopes. And sometimes when they really do need a rest or recharge, they just admit it. They're like, okay, for now I need a rest. But they can tell the difference between a mood issue that's preventing them from reaching their dreams or a rest that's helping them reach their dreams. And here's a hint. Most of the time, it's a mood issue. We don't need that much rest. You didn't come to Earth to sleep all your life away.
It's true.
You came to stay up and be frisky and playful and fun and energized and happy and passionate and involved and eager to pursue your stuff. You came to take breaks and rest when you were kind of overdoing it, not when you were regularly lethargic. Rest should come when you've been kind of overdoing it, when you've been really crushing it, when you've been in the zone, having fun, socializing, doing your work, on top of things, on your game, helping everybody, providing value to the world, and now you felt like you overdid it a little bit, and it's time to rest before things go bad.
I just want to clarify for the audience, you don't mean like nightly rest. You're talking about like
vacations or
being in bed all day
or whatever. Yeah. So maybe Beyonce has a Netflix and ice cream day once in a while. But it's like once a year after she's crushed an entire tour and helped more than half the planet or something.
Right.
It's like, okay, now it's time to rest.
Yes. After being Beyonce, she deserves that. Yes.
Whatever. This applies to anyone. Anyone you look up to and respect, they have high energy, they pursue their passions, they don't want to sleep. Like, they want to stay up. They want to wake up early and work on their project. They want to bring their gift to the world. They want to bring their art to the world. They want to share their selves and their expressions with others. So I'm saying these people see laziness for what it is, a mood issue that needs resolved and rectified and fixed now.
Yes.
Most people see laziness as some affliction that's victimizing them, and however will they overcome this great master of laziness?
True, fair enough.
Yeah. And so the difference between you and I is when we first met, you were in the latter group. Mm-hmm. You saw it as some unconquerable thing. But I have never seen it that way, at least not since you've known me. I see it like Beyonce sees it. As a mood issue, that means I need to get my shit together, maybe get some self-care real quick, take a quick shower and get back to work. I need to fix my mood. But most people don't want responsibility for fixing their mood. They want pills to fix their mood. They want a massage to fix their mood. They want someone else to fix their mood. They don't want to catch themselves in an unproductive mood where they don't feel like doing anything, in a low energy mood, and do something to fix that. And they don't want to practice fixing it faster. But if you do practice fixing your mood, if you care about it, if you care about your feelings, and you do what it takes, cut off the bad people in your life, or cut off the drains and the energy vampires, or move into a different situation. I ran away from home. Like, I went homeless just to do this.
Right.
Because I couldn't be around people who were hating on my dreams and telling me to be a 9-to-5er and just do what other people do and stuff. I couldn't be around it. It drained my energy. It killed my soul. I would rather be homeless than be around that. So I did what it took to solve my laziness, because I didn't feel lazy when I was homeless. I ran my business while homeless, the entire business, and I barely slept at all.
Yeah,
I stayed up and played games until I couldn't anymore. I like worked on my business all day and then played games all night. It doesn't make me special. It's just a choice. It's a choice to care about your moods. And when you care about your moods and you learn how to solve them fast for yourself, laziness barely ever visits you ever again. And then people think you're like an automaton robot who's just always productive.
Fair enough. Well, I know that you're not always productive. You have forcibly taken Sundays off.
Yeah, it's all good. Like, everyone needs breaks sometime. Everyone has moods.
Yeah, and taking those breaks don't mean you're lazy. It's not the same thing. And,
I know.
And this is where I was caught in that. Well, I need to rest because whatever reason it was, and I slapped the lazy label on it and just continue to feel like I was doing a bad thing and being lazy was happening to me, instead of that this was something I chose.
And can control.
And can control.
And can fix going forward. And can practice.
Right. And so it took a little while to really understand this. And I still have moments where I'm like, am I being lazy, or am I like, what's going on? And it's really helpful to ask myself this question so I know how I'm feeling, what's going on inside with my moods, because I know firsthand that they matter. The sadder you are and the more sad sacky you think and feel, the more lazy that you are and the less that gets done and the worse you feel. It's just a cycle over and over. So yeah, it's up to you. And for a long time, I thought that was my depression. Like, oh, I'm depressed, so I'm not going to get out of bed. Well, had I gotten out of bed, it would have changed my depression.
Yeah.
And I know that we all have times where we need to like lay in bed and give into those feelings for a little while and stuff, but it really doesn't serve us to do that for very long. Now what I do is give myself a time limit of, I'm going to feel my feelings. I'm going to like be in those feelings for the next hour, and then I'm done. I mean, I usually do less time than that, but I'm just saying I give myself a time limit, and then when the time's up, that's it. That's it. No more wallowing in those feelings. So.
Yeah, that's a great place to start. Maybe I started that way, but I kept shrinking my timer less and less. I don't want to wait an hour. I want to be better mood in 30 minutes. I don't want to wallow for 15 minutes. I want to wallow for 5 minutes. Actually, I don't want to wallow for 5 minutes. I want to wallow for 60 seconds. And so now I have like a weird bad mood or a bit of crunchiness. I'm like, I got to fix this. So don't talk to me for a second or whatever. I'm drinking some water. I'm thinking better thoughts. I'm doing an exercise and I'm feeling better. Or I go for like a 5-minute walk at most and I'm feeling better. For the most part, I'm not perfect at this and I keep trying. But the point is, I know if my mood isn't to pursue my dreams, then I'm like, this is a problem.
Right.
My mood should always be to pursue my dreams. And the only time I should be taking rests and break and sleep is when I know it's time to rest, because it's going to help me be more productive for my dreams.
Right.
Every human has dreams and you're meant to have them. I want you to have them. But if you keep letting your mood prevent you from having them, whose fault is that?
Well, we have control over our moods and our moods and thoughts and choices. Mm-hmm. And even though sometimes it feels like we have no control over that.
But that's a mood too.
We definitely do. Yeah.
In my mood, I feel like I can't control my emotions. Maybe change that mood first.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, I mean, I've encountered a lot of people that need help that won't move past this.
Yeah, just try it. I want to see people act like grown-ups. I don't want to see like a struggling infant pick me up, help me, feed me. I want to see a badass fucking adult who can at least try, at least make an effort. I want to see a spreadsheet of like, tried to change my emotion this way, then that way, then this way, then that way. I Googled this. I tried this today. I want to see some application, right? Like if a full grown human being is not willing to take responsibility for their moods and to actively experiment with improving them, then I have very little sympathy for this sad sack person who refuses to lift a finger to help themselves, but they want the rest of us to help them.
It's true. Yeah, fair enough. Well, if someone like me, who was a giant sad sack of sadness and anger and pain, could elevate my moods to change these things and feel better about my life and stop feeling lazy and be productive. And productivity looks different for all of us. Not everybody's an entrepreneur. We're aware of that.
No, but it should move you towards your dreams.
Yes.
Productivity, you should be able to say, look, people, I am moving towards my dreams. I'm proud of what I did today. I know it helped. I freaking crushed it. I had a good mood and I pursued my dreams.
Yeah.
So that looks the same for everyone. Like
it does.
It looks different in different forms, but that result, that pride at the end of the day should be same for everyone. You should feel proud that you crushed it and moved towards your dreams. And I should feel proud and crushed it and moved towards my dreams. Even if our dreams are totally different and yours is like a little house on the prairie and mine is a giant castle in Europe or something, we should both be moving towards our dreams.
Or even if your dream is to have a clean house. Whatever it is, big or small, like you should be moving towards them.
Yeah.
So this will make you happier. I promise.
Yep.
It will help your mental health and make you so much happier. Well, thank you very much. Okay, so we're going to move on then. Okay, so then my next question is, what if I know what I need to do to be productive, but I just can't do it? Because this was me for a long time.
Well, no is a funny word. Everyone uses it and it causes them all a ton of problems. Take a teenager who self-harms, for example. Would you say they know they shouldn't cut?
Yeah.
Oh, they do know?
Yes. They know that most people don't cut themselves.
Right. And they know that they were born with a miraculous body and they didn't come to Earth to slice it up randomly all day, barring some weird exception Guinness record holder.
Right. Yes.
So this is a clear example of someone knowing what to do, but not stopping.
True. Yes.
But then later in life, they often eventually stop. So when they eventually stop, is that them knowing they should stop? If they're knowing they shouldn't do it as a teen causes them to still do it, then how does knowing they shouldn't do it as an adult cause them to stop doing it? Seems like I have different kinds of knowing.
Yeah, like I knew I wasn't supposed to shoot heroin, but I still did it.
Right, but now you know you're not supposed to shoot heroin and you don't do it.
Okay, so I understand. You're saying there's different levels of knowledge.
Yes, I'm saying often we claim we know what to do and then don't back it up with action. We don't do it.
Yes.
Then years later, we claim we know the exact same thing and finally back it up with action. But why do we use the word know both times? Because they have drastically different results. It feels like clearly one didn't know it or knew it very poorly or didn't really know it or considered it or thought about it or toyed with it or anything but know it. And then it feels like the latter version, we actually freaking know it and live it. So one word feels appropriate and one feels ridiculous.
Yeah, I guess one is like, know the information, and the second one is we have learned it through the hard way and have burned it into our brains to know this on a deep soul level.
Exactly. It's the difference between a kid in swim class saying he knows the front crawl, even though he forgets to breathe and turn his head sideways and he chokes on water and his limbs are awkward or whatever, and Michael Phelps, who knows the front crawl.
Yeah, fair play. Okay.
Right?
Makes sense. Yes.
But they would both use the same word.
They would.
You know what I learned in class today? Now I know the front crawl.
Yeah.
Good for you, honey. Michael Phelps, I've known the front crawl since I was 2.
Right.
Very different levels of knowing. So yes, levels of knowledge is exactly what we're talking about. And it causes people tons of trouble because they don't even realize there are levels of knowledge. They just think if I say the word no, I know. I've said the word no, so nothing else needs to be done. This is not a healthy way to navigate life, and this will cause you problems. You might want to learn to say, I half know, or I barely know, or I kind of know, or I've just considered, or I've toyed with the idea, or I've dabbled. Like,
occasionally I'll hear someone say, I've heard of that, but I don't really know about. Well, it's rare. It's rare. Usually people will use the word no like they understand the topic on a super deep, like professor level. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they just are aware of the topic.
Yeah. And so they're lying to themselves and everyone else. And because of this bold-faced lie, they can't progress. How are you going to learn something that you lie to yourself that you already know? You have to be willing to say, I don't know. I barely know. I'm willing to learn. So for every task that you've ever said, I know I should do this, I bet if I were to be beside you at that moment, you didn't know you should do this. You barely knew. You toyed with it. Someone had told you and you had heard, I shouldn't shoot heroin. But you didn't know the consequences. You didn't understand deeply, I'm going to end up in the hospital and lose my whole life and I'll never spend time with my kids and they'll grow up and I'll be gone and whatever. Like, you didn't know. And so I see people do it all the time. Parents with their families and their kids, guys dating girls, girls dating guys, entrepreneurs, all of them think they know so many things, but really they barely know. They shouldn't even use the word know. They need to learn hardcore. Like, I know time management. No, you don't know time management. You are the least productive human ever. That's the truth. Stop saying I know. Not you, but like,
no, I know you're not talking to me.
People in general.
Yes.
Or I know how to communicate with my partner. No, you don't know. You don't know. Stop saying you know. You'll never learn. You'll never progress. Your relationship will forever be out. You have to learn to communicate, which means you have to admit you might not know it, which you might barely know it. And even if you do know it, there's room to know it more. Like, man, the way people use the word no is brutal. And it doesn't just keep you lazy. It keeps everything bad.
We once had a client who she was single for 8 years and she wanted to be in a relationship. And like, we were helping her with her business and stuff. And so I commented in private to her. I said, she made a comment about wanting a relationship. And I said, well, what have you learned to help get you there? And she's like, I know, in big letters, I know what I need to do. I know I need to manifest them and attract them. And I just can't. And I was like, okay. And so I backed off because I could tell that was like something she was not willing or ready to work on. And she was barely able to work on her business. So what you just said reminded me of that conversation, because she would probably bet money that she knows how to attract a mate, but she had been single for 8 years.
Yeah. I mean, Socrates was the wisest man ever or whatever, up there on the list.
Right.
And his main thing was, the only thing I know is that I don't know anything.
Right.
And so it means he operates to the best of his ability, but he goes into every subject and situation open to the possibility he doesn't know everything and something could be different here or something could change here. It's basically saying I have the most open mind on every topic possible. Yeah. I do not know. Even my best topics and my specialties, I still might not know. Now, maybe he usually knows more than the people around him, but he's still open. And that client we were talking about would benefit from the same attitude. Yeah. I don't know. The only thing I know is that I don't know. It's very possible I don't know something about dating or relationships or manifesting or attraction or whatever. She would have blossomed. You would have been able to help her. But we close ourselves off to help every time we use that firm, door-shutting, I know. I know.
None of us really know. I study marketing constantly, and I know a lot. I'm really good at this. I'm skilled at this. I know levels. I have levels of knowledge of this, but I'm still seeking out more because I know that I don't know.
Yeah, and if I tried to offer help one day and you were like, I know marketing, I'd be like, all right, then I won't help you, but you'll learn nothing.
Yeah,
and that I know thing is killer. So don't claim you know.
Yeah, it's good.
So if you're struggling to do something that you want to do or that you know is right or that will move you towards your dreams, the chances are you don't really know that you should do it. You might intellectually know or pretend to know or have considered or have heard of it, but you do not know on a core level. You haven't embodied this principle. You are not living this principle. Knowing is whatever, but until you're living it, you don't know it well enough. And to fix this, you're going to want to increase your levels of knowledge about that thing. And there's lots of ways to do that.
And if you want to increase your levels of knowledge on stuff like death, sex, and emotions, then you need your free copy of Eyes Wide Open, Volume 1. It's the world's first self-help coffee table book, and we're giving away free copies of our book in PDF form. So go to the link in the description or eyeswideopenfree.com and get yours today before I decide to be greedy and start charging for it again. Love you. So that was a great ad. We sponsored ourselves. So my next question then is, why do I beat myself up so super hard when I do choose laziness over actively being productive?
Good question. Imagine you have an opportunity to move towards your dreams. You have an opportunity to spend the morning networking with people and getting closer to those connections you want, or closer to the society you want, or closer to the property you want, but you don't do it. You stay in bed, you watch Netflix, you doom scroll, you choose old habits and comfort zones rather than stepping up and moving towards your dreams. And you know life gave you the opportunity, you know you have the time, the freedom, right?
Right.
But you are in the mood, or you're exhausted from working all day and now you just want to unwind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's a totally valid choice. You can do that.
Right.
But how many people can you imagine who would be jumping for joy that they sacrificed their dream and delayed it for another day and took the precious free moments life gave them and said, you know what? Screw my dreams.
Yeah, that doesn't feel great.
Yeah, it doesn't. And it makes sense. Why would that feel great? Why would anybody be doing cartwheels for this?
Right.
So on the one hand, it seems kind of normal and natural to beat ourselves up for making a choice that delays and sacrifices our dreams and keeps us further away from it.
True.
And since humanity is based on achieving our dreams and we evolve by all humanity moving towards their best version of themselves, doesn't it seem like nature would implement some kind of punishment for going against our dreams and our evolution and our best version of ourselves? Like, what could nature do to sort of nudge us to stop sacrificing our dreams? Maybe make us feel guilty when we do?
All right. Yeah.
Maybe make us feel bad and ashamed of our crappy choices?
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe nature's saying, hey, buddy, don't do that again. You're going to feel crappy all day.
Yeah. All right.
Please choose to get out of bed and work on your dreams. If you do, I will reward you. Good things will happen.
That's true.
I don't know. I'm not claiming I know exactly how nature or the universe or source is handling this, but it does seem like a pretty convenient tool to keep humanity on track.
Yeah.
Don't reward the people who continually making poor choices that don't move towards their dreams. Instead, give them a little nudge.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Okay. So on the one hand, maybe it's normal for all of us to feel shitty when we make a choice that delays or moves away from our dreams, the version of ourselves we want. If we want to be fit and healthy, maybe we feel negatively every time we make a choice to not work out or to stay at home or to stay in bed.
Okay.
If we want to be rich, maybe we feel a little awkward when we're not out there hustling or helping the world or providing value, if we're just hermiting up at home and helping no one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Maybe we should suffer. Maybe bad things should happen. Maybe our heart and our mood should drop.
When we were working on Rise Kink and I was living in North York, we were living far away from each other. And I would tell you that I was working on one thing and then I would lay in bed and watch Drag Race and like maybe hit up 10 people in a day, if that. I definitely felt guilty. And because I knew I was saying one thing, I was saying, I'm doing this, and then I wasn't doing it. So there was guilt on top of guilt on top of guilt. Guilt that I wasn't doing it, guilt that I was lying about it, guilt that I was continuing to knowing that I felt this way and pushing those feelings aside and still laying in bed and doing the wrong things and lying about it. Like, had I been honest, I still probably would have felt guilty, but it would have been a different layers of guilt or less guilt, or I don't really know, because I didn't really get honest until it was too late. But I really felt bad, and it made me feel worse than if I had just been alone and said, like, if we weren't business partners and I was just doing it myself, okay, I'm supposed to be building my business and doing this, but I'm actively just going to lay in bed and not do it.
Keep your word.
The level of guilt because I added lying on top of all the other crap. Plus, I was eating unhealthy, eating ice cream in bed and stuff, and not
right.
saying anything.
And all this just starts a cycle of laziness and lying about laziness.
Yes.
And you move further away from your dreams. If you use that year wisely, you could have had your dreams by now.
Yeah. And I spent a lot of time thinking of ways to cover up why there was no movement in our business. Like, well, I did this stuff and this stuff. And then I would send you emails and say, well, I did this, 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 and this. And they usually weren't anything to do with our business. Or if it did, it was like minimal. It was polishing the swamp is what I was doing when I did anything.
I made more content today.
Yeah, I edited
For
content.
who?
I made more content.
For what customers?
I fixed the site. I fixed the descriptions, blah, blah, blah. And it was never, I got more customers, I got more sales, but that's my job. That's my part of the business.
And it's your superpower.
So it's my superpower. I'm really good at this. And so like everyone who's watching came here to watch because I somehow, with some way, reached out to them, whether it was with a flyer or in their email or in our newsletter or whatever. Somehow I brought them here. And this is what I do. And so to act like back then, like I was doing something when I really wasn't, because I felt the guilt and the shitty feelings were just pressing down on me and making me feel awful, leading me to act out more, like smoke more weed and eat more junk food and do the things that I didn't want to do. And I was still doing them.
Yep, because you were choosing your old habits and old comfort zones and the things that feel familiar and the things that feel easy, rather than breaking out of your comfort zones, trying your new superpower, marketing the business, and getting out there and facing rejection or whatever. The point is, a lot of times people are lazy or procrastinate or don't accomplish their dreams because they choose to identify with their old self rather than choose to become their best self. Their best self would step up and do the thing. Their best self would take the opportunity. Their best self would fix their mood. Their best self would drop the guilt and get back to work. Their best self would be honest with the partner. The best self would do all these things.
Yes.
And if you don't choose that, and nature takes away your energy and makes you lethargic and makes you depressed and guilty, and you start a cycle of whatever, I'm not really surprised, you know? And if I do it, I feel the same. Like, I'm human, and if I choose something foolish that doesn't help my dreams, I feel bad and guilty and dumb and stupid and ashamed and whatever.
Yeah.
The best solution is to not make those choices. Just choose to follow your dreams always. But the second best solution is when we do make those choices to stay lazy or be in bed or put our dreams on hold for whatever reason, don't beat ourselves up about it. Don't lie about it. Just own it. I made a choice that delayed my dreams today. I'm going to do better and not do that tomorrow. I'm going to follow my dreams tomorrow. I'm going to take the opportunity. But for today, I admit what I did and I'm forgiving myself for it.
Yeah.
So this is a second best solution. And another solution to avoid making this problem at all in the first place is to always weigh your current feelings versus your dreams. Prioritizing your current feelings is like what a toddler does, like a child. Like, I want this, I want that. It's like there are consequences. This will hurt your brother. This will hurt your sister. This will have long-term consequences. This will build bad habits for you. You will become spoiled if you do this. They don't think about any of that. They just think about their feelings now. And kids are amazing at many different things, but there's a reason, like, they don't run society. Like, we have to grow and learn and understand long-term consequences versus present feelings.
Right.
Unfortunately, a lot of adults haven't been taught this, and they still prioritize their present feelings over their own dreams. So I have a dream of looking beautiful and curvy. Well, did you work out today? No, I didn't feel like it. Did you work out the day before? No, I didn't feel like it. Did you work out the day before? No, I was exhausted. Did you work out the day before? No, I felt drained. Did you work out the day before? No, I was busy with friends. It's like, okay, then your dream just got delayed by a week. You're a week further from being beautiful or having the appearance you want or whatever. But actually, you're even further, because you're not just a week behind, because it gets harder to reach that goal of beauty the older you get.
That's true.
Like, you're only making it harder with every day you delay. Or the guy wants to be a rich billionaire, trillionaire, something. It's like, okay, did you help a customer today? No. Okay, did you post content today? No. Did you outreach to people today? No. Why not? I didn't feel like it. I've just been tired lately. My energy is low. Well, do you want to fix those mood issues and those energy issues? Or you just want to claim them as an excuse and let them sit there forever? Like, now you're even further away from your dreams. And like, Colonel Sanders got rich with Kentucky Fried Chicken at 55 or something, but then how long did he get to enjoy it? Like, what are you guys doing? What are we all doing with our dreams, right? What are we all doing in our comfort zones? What are we all doing with our old habits? What are we all doing with our moods? What are we doing with our now feelings versus our dreams? And most people put zero focus on those long-term dreams when they make a decision. When they choose to get water or choose to go to sleep or choose to play a game or choose to doom scroll, they are not thinking, how does this relate to my long-term dreams? But the people you look up to are always thinking that. Every minute counts. How long can I stay in this meeting? Should I have that person on the team? What should I do today? How long can I stay in the shower? I bet I could be more efficient in the shower. If I take notes in the shower with a waterproof notepad, will that help me get closer to my dreams? Some people do that.
I know, I'm aware.
And they're the people everyone looks up to. They're the people everyone wants to be. So who would you rather be? The comfort zone dweller who is continually at the mercy of their current feelings, or the disciplined dude who fixes his feelings, gets back to work, and crushes it, moving towards his dreams?
Yeah, that dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. But now you have to take a look at your life. You've got to take a hard look at your life. What are you doing with your schedule? What are you doing with your day-to-day? How long do you spend washing dishes? How long do you spend smoking? How long do you spend walking around? How long do you spend getting dressed? How long do you spend helping people? Do you make connections with other people? Are you friends? Are you collaborating? Are you leveraging other people's audiences? Are you helping one kid while helping the other? Are you helping your kid while helping your husband? What are you doing, right? You have to look at what you're doing. Is it moving you closer to your dreams or further? Is it keeping you in your comfort zones or taking you out of them?
Those questions are excellent, and they make me feel called out and seen at the same time. Because these are great questions. These are great questions for me to ask myself. These are great questions for you guys to ask yourselves. Like, if things aren't moving along and you're feeling guilty and you know that you're not doing the things you want to do, we all have a version of ourselves that we want to be like. I want to be skinny and curvy and sexy and successful, and I want to be speaking on stages, and so like, and I want to be polite and kind and gentle and feminine. I know exactly who I want to be, and I'm working every day to be that person. When I was deep in my depression, and before we met, and I felt so lost and so guilty because I didn't even know any of those questions to ask myself. Back then I might have said, whoa, dude, like, that's a lot of questions. That's a lot of stuff. I don't even know what I'm having for dinner. Like, but I wouldn't have even been able to form those questions to ask myself. So, if you're watching this or listening and you think like, that's a lot of stuff, man, I don't know. That's okay. Like, you are where you are and you're where you're supposed to be right now. And you found us for a reason. You found this video. You're watching this video for a reason. And maybe start asking yourself some of those questions to help you move towards that person, the ideal version of yourself you want to be. Because for years, I thought that ideal version of who I am was unreachable. I thought it was a fantasy, a dream. I couldn't reach this person. And I may never, ever reach that person. If I die tomorrow, then I didn't reach it. Like, okay, that's fine. But I'm going to do the things as much as I can in a day to move myself towards the person, the ideal version of me I want to be. And that's what all those questions are really good for, to help you guys to get to that version. And maybe that version of you is just someone who takes a shower on a regular basis, or takes a shower tomorrow, or whatever. It doesn't matter how small or big the goal is. Jay has tremendous, huge goals. So sometimes those kinds of questions sound like huge and like, and there's been times where I'm thinking like, I'm not friggin' Elon Musk. I don't need that. But we should all be striving to be that version, whatever it looks like for us. So I just wanted to clarify that and tell you thank you, because all those kinds of questions that you asked were so helpful for me to let go of that guilt and be more productive and feel really good about the things I do every day. And so when I lay my head in bed at night, another question I ask myself that you taught me too is, when I lay my head down on the pillow at night, how do I feel about my day? And so then that kind of helps me go into the next day. So what I did and didn't do, or what can I do better tomorrow? So thank you so much.
No, that was great. I'm glad you clarified that.
Yeah, thank you. You're the best.
You're the best.
Okay, so in the last section, I mentioned some of us are working towards like smaller, simpler goals than other people. And that's fine. There's no judgment about the goal. But why is it, if something feels simple or sounds simple, it sometimes just feels very difficult to do, like taking a shower or making dinner?
Okay, great question. So I think we covered this in the previous questions, but it's always a mood issue.
Okay.
Like if I'm not in the mood to shower, I told you, I know that's a problem. That's an issue. It's not correct for me, like to not have energy for basic hygiene.
Right.
Why do I not have energy for basic hygiene? I should probably fix this. Let me look into this. Journal, meditate, figure out my mood, pet a cat, feel better, do something fast and get back on my day. I'm not going to feel any better if I let the whole day go by and I didn't solve this.
True.
Like, dude, it took you 24 hours to make it to the shower. I'm not going to feel proud of myself for that. So I know it's a priority.
Yes.
It's like I said about Beyonce and Michael Jordan and all of that. They know when there's a mood issue and they need to get to practice or rehearsal or start moving towards their dreams, they got to solve the mood thing. If you're struggling with something simple and it's not a mood thing, it could be from lack of clarity or lack of understanding. So let's take Sam and Trevor, for example.
Okay.
Sam and Trevor both want to run a profitable business. This is tremendously simple. I'm not going to get into it here. I have so much content on how simple business is. But suffice to say that a child with a lemonade stand can have a profitable business. People in caveman times had profitable businesses, in bartering times, in medieval times. The amount of humans on the planet through history who have had a profitable business is insane. It couldn't be simpler.
Right.
Exchange something valuable with X amount of customers over and over and la-di-da, right?
I'm going to interrupt you for 1 second and say that if you want some free resources and information about why and how business is simple, shoot me an email, leave a comment, and I'll send you a bunch of stuff. That's all free.
Thank you. That's helpful. Anyways, Sam and Trevor both want to run a business. This should be simple. It's a few simple steps. Sam posts on social media a few times, gets minimal results, and gives up. Trevor studies business. He studies marketing. He studies sales. He takes notes and then practices the lessons that he learned in his own business and sees how they work and susses out lessons from each failure. And even with all that, he still fails his first business, but he doesn't give up. He goes back to the steps, sees where he did them wrong, executed them wrong. He knows something must have been off, applies them to his next business, and eventually succeeds. And now, since he's so practiced at it and he knows it so well, he's able to take those steps and start up any new business in any industry. And he's a successful serial entrepreneur. In this example, Sam looks lazy AF, who doesn't accomplish his goals or his dreams, gives up when things are tough, and he probably just blames a bad mood or depression or whatever, any number of things. And his dream is still sitting inside him. It hasn't gone away. He hasn't suddenly, you know what? It's gone. I never wanted a business in the first place and I never want one again. And if someone handed one to me tomorrow, I'd say no. It's still there, of course. Right. And Trevor looks super productive. It's like the dude has got multiple businesses. No one sees the hard steps he went through, the learning and the failures. They just see the monster productivity.
Right.
And let's say they both started their journey in a good mood, passionate about business. So we can't blame mood for this.
Okay.
What is the difference between Sam's lazy result and Trevor's productive result? What did each of them know about the steps of what they were trying to accomplish? Did Sam know the steps of business?
No.
Right. Even though it's simple.
Yes. He didn't learn all the steps he needed to learn to be successful the way that Trevor did.
Right. He had a lack of clarity and understanding about the steps of this task.
Right.
And Trevor, even if he didn't know the steps in the beginning, through trial and error and practice and study, eventually did what to the steps?
Crushed them.
Yeah, he knew them. He mastered them. He practiced them.
Yeah.
And he gained clarity and understanding on the steps of his task.
Right.
So if someone is failing at something simple and it's not their mood, what might it be?
Their skills, their lack of knowledge, or their lack of doing the knowledge when they learn it, doing it.
Yeah. So you said earlier when you were making your art, you weren't in a bad mood about your art. You were excited about your art and you were happy to paint all the art.
Yes.
But then you stopped because
they didn't know what to do next.
Yeah. You didn't know the next.
Yeah. The next step.
Right. Yeah. You had a lack of clarity and understanding about the next
steps.
Right.
Yes. All right.
So a lot of laziness or failure to accomplish our goals, if it's not coming from our mood, it's coming from not knowing
the next steps.
Right. Now, is it neurosurgery in space with one arm tied behind your back to find out the next steps of your dream?
No.
But most people, a lot of people anyways, use that excuse. I don't know the next steps, whatever, I give up, it's done.
Yeah, I'm helping somebody this week who didn't know he purchased all the things for his business. He paid for the people, got a team of 7 or 8 people ready to go, but doesn't understand
the audience,
the audience. How do I bring in clients?
The customer base stuff,
yeah,
the prospecting stuff, the getting leads step.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he hasn't taken steps to learn those steps.
Yeah. And you can tell a lot of people don't even know this language. What's a lead? What's a prospect? What's a customer?
Yeah.
What's outreach? What's promotion?
Yeah.
Or they'll claim they know it. Oh, my favorite thing. I know promotion. I know prospecting. I know leads.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then I don't know why you're struggling.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And it's usually because they know the word, they know kind of what they're supposed to do, but they don't know how.
And they haven't practiced it and applied it and embodied it. So we get back to the levels of knowledge. But the point is, if anyone has a lack of clarity and understanding about the next steps, they have 2 options. 1, admit they don't know, get out there and solve it. Find the next steps. Look it up. Google it. We have all the information in the world. Ask an expert. Ask for help. Take a poll. Take a survey. Do an experiment. Try something. Just find the next steps like Trevor did. Or they can make an excuse and give up and just leave it at that, like Sam did.
Yeah.
One of them looks very lazy and the other one looks very productive. So if you're struggling to do something simple, it's either a mood issue that you have not fixed, because once you fix your mood, you'll feel great to get a shower or work on your business or whatever. Or it's a lack of clarity issue. And once you understand the next steps or even all of the steps, you will have tremendous clarity and confidence moving forward. You'll do this thing and then you'll know what to move on to. And then you'll do that thing and you'll know what to move on to. And you'll be like, I know what to do next. I know what to do next. I know what to do next. I feel productive. I feel productive. And you'll just keep crushing it.
And this is helpful for people who are entrepreneurs, who are depressed and laying in bed. Well, what's the next step?
Yeah.
What's the next step? Get out of bed. All right. And take a shower. And then the next step after that is to get dressed. And the next step after that is to eat something. And and if you don't know what the next steps are, then find out.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Use your fingers and that magic Google button.
Yeah.
And you'll find a lot of information. Ask ChatGPT what is up.
Yeah.
You can even break it down further. How do I get out of bed? Okay. I can't believe I'm going to type this in, but how do I get out of bed? And you'll see, first, you should inch closer to the edge of the bed. Then start thinking positive thoughts about getting up. You have to change your mood first, yada, yada, yada. You can do anything. You can find the next steps for anything.
I was so desperate to be happy that I thought it was simple. Everyone knows the trick, how to be happy. Everyone knows how to do this. And I felt like a dumbass typing in, how can I be happy, into YouTube in 2017 or 16, whenever I typed it in. And I felt really dumb for this. I'm so dumb, I don't even know how to be happy. I've been so depressed for so long, I don't even know what that looks like. Maybe someone could teach me on YouTube, because they teach me all kinds of cool stuff over there. So maybe somebody there will know.
Well, at least you weren't claiming you know what happiness is, so no one can fix it.
Oh, but that's the thing. I would never have admitted it.
But you did by typing it in.
Yeah. It's okay to not know, and it's okay to admit it. And we have a rule in our relationship: whoever admits they're wrong first wins. But it's okay to admit that to yourself. So when I admitted I don't know how to be happy, I'm going to type it in, I felt like a dumbass to be a grown woman with children and not know how to be happy. But I learned some cool stuff that day. Did I find my answer? No, I didn't find my answer that day, but I did find answers to help give me some information that gave me a baby step to you.
Yeah, you gained increased clarity.
Yes.
Which made you less lazy and more proactive.
Yeah. I learned that a lot of people think getting up at 5 a.m. will help my happiness. So I thought, what can I lose? I'll try it. I was someone who slept till 11 or 12. We started a homeschool in the afternoons. This is how we were. And so now I'm going to switch and start waking up at 5 a.m. Did this change my life? Not really, but it helped me understand that I felt better. I felt more productive getting up early. 5 a.m. was a bit much for me. I like around 7. I'm happy at 6:37 and I feel good. I've got enough sleep. I'm ready to crush my day. So yeah, like this works for everything. And it's okay to admit that you don't know something. Just bite the bullet, admit it, and you can move on. Once we admit it, it feels so much better. It really, really does. Even if you feel stupid, after that feeling of stupid goes away, it feels better. So, yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. If you're struggling to do something simple, it's not mood, gain some clarity about the next steps.
Yeah. Thank you. You are awesome.
You're awesome.
Thank you for answering my questions today. Thank you for taking the time and helping me with these things. I can only imagine for somebody who was when we met at step like 100, how annoying it could be to help somebody at step negative 500. So I appreciate all of your patience. And I remember telling you, you're so patient. You're like, no, I am not. And I would say, well, thanks for your impatient patience. But now I get why you used to say that. Back then I was like, what are you talking about? So thank you. That way we can help all the Rise Rebels out there who are here being supportive and needing support. We love you so much. You're all amazing. So Jay, do you have any final thoughts that you want to share with our amazing audience?
All right, Rise Rebels. You are not lazy. Laziness doesn't even exist. It's all just poor mood management or lack of clarity about steps or misprioritization of your dreams. And you can practice those things. You can practice managing your mood, fixing your mood ASAP so you can get back to those productive tasks that are waiting for you. You can practice gaining clarity on the next steps and applying them and practicing them and embodying them until you really know. And when you know them that deeply, you're just going to do them. You won't feel lazy about them. And you can practice getting out of your comfort zone and prioritizing your dreams. When a moment of the day goes by and you have an opportunity to do something that should move you towards your dreams, you absolutely can practice choosing that. It might be hard at first, but it's doable. The thing is, I can't make you practice these important things. I can't make you get this. And the truth is, most of the people on earth don't. But I believe in you. And I believe you're going to show me you're different than most people. So get out there and be the most fulfilled, satisfied, productive version of you, speeding towards your dreams as possible. You totally got this. Rise up.
And that's why our book and this podcast are called Eyes Wide Open. And after today, you now know if you're lazier than a freaking sloth. So now you can watch this video here called 4 Ways to Murder Procrastination to give you more anti-lazy hacks so you can help keep your eyes wide open.
Keep rising.